Hello everybody. Today's video is going to be a guide about how to do tower on your board. The reason I'm doing this guide is because when I needed one, I couldn't find one. I couldn't find a written one and I couldn't find one on YouTube. Most of them that I found was basically just someone not explaining anything, going in and doing like floor 45 on a 1350 character or something like that, right? That helps me absolutely nothing. So I spent some time looking around, looking for tips on forums, stuff like that, experimenting a bit myself and trying stuff out, and I ended up with an insane build. This is my 6th character doing the tower with, and I done it on 4 DPS character. I also did it on Paladin, and I can say without a doubt that if I would have to go back on any of these characters to do the tower again, the Bard would be my choice. How weirdly as it sounds. Because, truth be told, when I went in the first time on the tower on my Bard, I think it was around gear score 1020, 1040 around there, I started to struggle already like on floor 3, 4, 5. And there is a couple of reasons for that. So first off, your Guardian spec is going to be very low damage because you're mostly about buffing other people. Your Chaos Dungeon spec, however, has more damage in it, but you have so many spells that they just lock you in place, and standing still in the tower is basically death. So this build is around you doing a lot of damage while not having to stand still very much, and we're gonna do some really nice cheating here, because we can cheat with things that normal DPS classes can't when it comes to the tower. This is also a guide I kind of do for, friends and stuff. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I hope that you will survive with me stumbling a bit through the explanations and maybe talking about some nonsensical stuff at times, but I'll try to do my best to stay on topic. The first thing that you want to do is that you kind of want to save your, if you want to be efficient about it at least, you kind of want to save your tower until you are about 1000 gear score. And the reason for that is that you want to go in and you want to go do the underwater abyssals and you want to acquire this set. It's going to cost you a little bit of silver to craft and to switch your honings, but what it does is that the 5 set bonus gives us 15% more crit rate, and 15% more crit rate together with some crit stats, and you can see here I'm almost at 37% crit. So for a class that doesn't do a lot of damage, increasing your damage is basically the most important thing for doing the tower. The second reason why this is also really good to do is it will give you some jewelry that has your engravings on them. And Desperate Salvation does absolutely nothing for you in the tower. So what we're going to be looking to get is True Courage. And True Courage is like guaranteed on 50% of the stuff you get from the Abyssal. So it's just a nice way to get some easy to access jewelry. But so we want to craft this at 15% more crit. Let's get into the engravings, because we're gonna play some funky choices here. As I said, we're playing True Courage, and personally I would do the way that where I activate this by having 3 jewelry pieces that has True Courage +2 on them. Should be easy enough for you to find, and if you have to buy them, it shouldn't cost you more than a couple of gold each. What it does is when we use our Serenade of Courage, we get 10% more damage and 10% more crit, so roughly 20% more damage total. When you use Serenade of Courage in a party setting, you give a buff to your friends for a very short amount of time, but when you use it for yourself, you get a buff that lasts for 120 seconds, with a 15% damage increase, another 10% from this one, another 10% crit rate. So this is a really good buff to keep up on yourself. If you don't use it like every time it's up, you're basically gonna have it up for all the bosses through the tower, which is really, really good. The more sensible pick that you probably understand is Heavy Armor, but Heavy Armor is a lot better in the tower than it actually looks. So it looks like it increases your survivability by about 100%, right? In truth, it's basically 400%. At least for me. So what usually ends up happening is that you get hit by what is referred to as a CC chain. So you get CC'd by one ability, followed into the next ability, followed into the next ability. And if you don't have heavy armor, and the squishy Bard will basically end up dying from that chain. If you get hit by, let's say, bomb floor, you get hit by bomb 1, bomb 2, bomb 3, dead. What heavy armor does is that you get hit by bomb 1, bomb 2, bomb 3, you're now at 50%, but you can now dash out of it. You hit your potion, you're back to square one again, you have full HP. So now you can get hit by another bomb chain, use another potion, another bomb chain, and you just end up being able to survive through these CC chains, and it makes an insane difference in how easy it becomes to not wipe on certain floors. The weird pick that you probably never seen anyone play before is Lightning's Fury. And the short explanation of Lightning's Fury is that anytime we attack, we're gonna get a chance to get an orb around us. When we reach 5 orbs, we explode doing lightning damage around us for a very nice amount of damage. So why is none of the DPS players ever playing Lightning's Fury? So if we just take a hypothetical scenario with a DPS class that is doing 100 DPS. Let's say that Lightning's Fury increases their DPS by 10 DPS. The thing is that their alternative is to play something like Cursed for 16% more or Grudge for 20% more DPS, because Lightning's Fury doesn't scale with their base abilities. However, we are a support class, we don't do that much damage. So we want something that doesn't scale from our poor damage, we want something that is static. So Lightning's Fury does a static amount of DPS. I think it scales on your attack power, but that we have a normal amount of. So let's say that if the DPS did 100 DPS, as a bard we may be doing something like 20 DPS normally, you know? So we add this one in that adds 10 DPS, and suddenly we have increased our DPS from 20 to 30, which is a 50% increase in our damage output. It also just works out really well for the tower. Like, it clears AoE, it does nice damage on bosses, and I'm gonna show you some gameplay in a sec, and you're gonna see that it's just an amazing skill to clear stuff out with. So that's it, and let's take a look at the skills we're using. So the skills are chosen on the two criteria for the skills is that they need to have a fast cast time. They can't animation lock you for very long, because that means that you will die. The second criteria is that we want stuff that damages over time, and that is because we can use a damage over time ability and have that one sit on the boss while our Lightning's Fury stacks up, even if we have to run. Let's say there is a boss that we have to run around to not get hit, right? What we can do is we can drop a stigma here, we run around, and now the Lightning Fury just keeps stacking up, even that we are not DPSing. We hit them with a sound shock, didn't hit anything in the middle there, but you can see it's active, so it keeps adding up and exploding in that nice lightning damage. The skills that we are using is Sound Shock with the Bleed rune. That's the only rune I'm going to explain, the others are up to your personal preference. You can see the choices I made here to the right. The Bleed rune on this ability is a major increase in your DPS. So Sound Shock, we play tripod 3 and 1. Dissonance, we play 1, 1, 3. Stigma, we play 3, 2, 1. Conviction Core, 2, 2, 1. Sonic Vibration, 2, 3, 2. Soundholic, 1, 1, 2. Heavenly Tune, 1, 3, 2. And the last ability is Guardian Tune, 4, 3, 3. If you have more points than me, I am currently at 342. Put them, the extra points, in Sound Shock and not in Guardian Tune, because these tripods are basically dead for doing anything in the tower. So that is basically the entire build and the entire plan about it, right? So in a separate video I will have gameplay of me doing floor 27 to 47 on my bard. I ended up failing on 47 sadly, but that was the first wipe I had in the entire run. But for this video, just to show off quickly, if you don't want to switch video, I'm just gonna do something a bit easy to show off how the build works. If I only could remember what floors is actually good to showcase. The even floors are usually floors that are bosses, so let's just try 30. Start. Yeah, okay, so this is actually a fairly annoying one, but let's go. So we put the dots on him there in the corner, Hope it's stack. We kind of want, like, this one is really hard to stick close to, because it's a lot of AoE effects that we have to dodge. But we want to stay close for that Lightning Fury, right? You don't have to be right up in his face, but you want to be somewhere, like, close by. You can see here, got hit by several abilities there, not a lot of damage taken, thanks to the amazing heavy armor. So my Oratorio, my Awakening skill, ends up doing slightly over 1 million. Oh, that was a lot of damage here. Slightly over 1 million damage when it's used, depending a little bit on what buffs I have active and stuff like that. So the plan here is to get him to around that slightly over 1 million HP, and then we're just gonna finish him off with our Awakening skill. Probably now is a good time. His friend is gonna come here and blast me in a sec. He's gonna hide.
Success.
You can see, since I was talking, I played that one pretty poorly. Went really okay. I think this floor is maybe like 980
Success.
region, like where it's capped at, you know, you need to be 980 to do it. I'm about 100 gear score above, so it went a bit quicker for me. But yeah, this build is amazing. I had one wipe from floor 5 to 47, and that was on floor 47. Everything else went super smooth. So I hope this guide can help you out. If it does, leave a like or a comment or something. I would always love to know that my videos can inspire someone and help them out, right? So with that, I wish you a good day and ciao.